Hi, Geometry. So you see what I've got here is your Unit 7, Week 6 worksheet. If you haven't already gone and watched the videos about major and minor arcs and the central and inscribed angle theorems on Canvas, I highly suggest you do so because I'm not going to be explaining those too much in depth. I'm just going to be walking through the worksheet in this video. So let's get started. With the first one, it says name the central angle of the given arc. So you see here, this denotes an arc, new notation, okay? And I need to name that angle. So VW is referring to this arc right here. This is a minor arc because it's not telling me I have to go through any other letter. That means that my angle is there and it's called VQW. Now let's look at one that does have three letters, TUW. This is a major arc because noticing how I'm going to have to go through an extra piece of my circle. I'm going further. I'm creating a larger angle, TUW, and it's referring to the at angle right there. That is called TQW. Remember, your vertex is always the middle letter that you talk about, and then your outer two pieces of your angle are those two letters. Okay, not too bad. Name the arc made by the given angle. I'm looking for major arc for angle 3. So, like I said, if you didn't watch those other videos, this is where you might get confused. Now you might be thinking, well, here's angle 3. However, that's a minor arc. It's acute. My major arc is everything opposite of that. Okay? So that means I'll be naming this arc FCE because I need to go here all the way to E to complete that angle, or I could call it FDE. Both work, okay? As long as you're denoting that you're going through one of these other pieces before you get to E. Okay. Measure the or find the measure of the arc or central angle indicated. Assume that lines which appear to be diameters are actually diameters. So with that being noted, you notice how like for number 10, number 11, those are straight lines, even number 12. That's what a diameter is. Remember, it goes straight through the center of your circle from edge to edge. Okay. So number 9, we're just talking about the fact that here's a central angle, here's the arc angle, and central angles and the arc angles are equal to each other. So that question mark there is 110 degrees. Okay. 3 more problems for you to practice and look at that. Remembering that this is going to be equal to this is going to be equal to this. It's very straightforward. Okay. Let's look at number 13 where I see measure of TWV. So here I need to do a little bit more math. Now it doesn't note whether I'm looking for this angle, the minor, or I'm looking for the major angle. So we're going to go ahead and solve for both. For my major, remembering that that angle is going to be equal to the outer arcs. So it's just 143 plus 145, which is 288. And as you remember, circle has 360 degrees. So my minor arc is just going to be 360 minus 288, which is 72. And that's it. just go ahead and continue to do your algebra, use your knowledge about 360 degrees in a circle. Let's take a look at number 15. I know that this one's a little different. I'm looking for GHF. So specifying that I've got this major arc here that has to go through H to get to F. Okay. Remember that we're allowed to assume diameters. So nice thing about that is the fact that I have a diameter here, and that calls for a straight line, which means I've got 180 degrees there, supplementary angles. So I'm going to take my 180 and subtract 45 to know that this angle is 135. And then we know vertical angles. So 45 is also here. And now to get my entire measure of my arc, I need to just add them all together. So that's 135 plus 45 plus 45. And the measure of my entire arc GHF is 225 degrees. Okay. Here now we are looking for solving for x. Pretty simple because we see here we've got our central angle, I've got the arc, and remembering that those equal each other. So I just have to do 52x minus 1 equals 155, and it's simple algebra from here. I'm going to add 1, 52x equals 156, divide by my 52, and I get that x is equal to 3. That simple. Okay. Moving on here, now we see our inscribed angles. So making sure you go back and watch that video about inscribed angle theorem. The inscribed angle theorem tells me that this here, remember noticing that it's not coming from the center of my circle. That's why it's not a central angle anymore. And for simplicity reasons, I'm going to call that x, okay? And it corresponds to this angle out here, my arc measure, because it's facing it just like that, right? Kind of making like a, like if you turn on a flashlight, that's kind of like all of the area that it's seeing. And 120 is going to be 2 times my inscribed angle. So I just have to take 120 divided by 2, and my inscribed angle is 60 degrees. Okay, that's all there is. I'm going to take a look at number 20 because there's a couple more steps to it here. So 123, this angle is looking out to this entire arc there. Okay, and since my arc has to be 2 times 123, I know that that is going to be 246. However, the angle that I want is facing this way to the rest of the arc that finishes off my circle. So I'm going to take my 360 and subtract 246 and figure out that this arc equals 2 114. Okay, we're almost done. That's the arc, but I need to know the angle, which is half of that. So when I divide by 2, I get that the angle is 57 degrees. Okay. The rest of these are very similar. Just go ahead and do your algebra. Same thing here. You're going to be using your algebra, you're going to be using your inscribed angle theorem. However, you're solving for x, not the entire angle. And I do want to point out what those angles are, just so that you know. So the 6x plus 4 is this angle here, okay? This 12x minus 1 is this angle right here. My 45, you can see it clearly there. Your 94x plus 1, 86x minus 1. Finding the measure of the arc or indicated angle. So let's do one of these. Here my 17x minus 2 is in this angle right here. And I'm going to have to end up finding the measure of RQ here. So that's looking like a minor arc because I'm not going through the other parts of my circle. So I'm going to be looking for the measurement here, R to Q. And in order to find that, I notice that here my inscribed angle of 17x minus 2 is facing this part of the arc here. And that means that my arc is going to be 2 times that of my angle. So I'm just going to take my 17x minus 2 and multiply it all by 2 to get 34x minus 4 as that arc there. Now I have everything I need to solve for my entire measure of my circle, which is 360. So I just take my 34x minus 4 plus the 84 plus my 21x plus 5, and I know that has to equal 360. Okay, simple algebra here. We're going to combine like terms. 21 with 34. I've got 55x. I've got minus 4 plus 84 plus 5 to get positive 85 equals 360. Subtract my 85 and I get 55x equals 275. Divide by my 55. And x is going to equal 5. Okay, not quite done because remember I'm finding the measure of the arc. So I need to plug that 5 back in here. 21 times 5 plus 5 to figure out the measure there. So 21 times 5 is 105 plus 5 is 110 degrees. And that's it. So I've gone over several problems from this worksheet. Hopefully you can do it on your own. If not, come in for our Zoom class meeting on Tuesday and I will go over other problems from this worksheet.